How many software products claim to have robust functionality as they vie for your attention? Actually, the simpler question might be, who doesn't? But this is not a subjective, meaningless term. Robust functionality is a value-add proposition, and it probably adds to the cost of your software. It does add functionality, and it might add complexity.
Imagine a continuum of complexity in donor database software, with simple on one end and robust on the other. Often, but not always, there's a corresponding continuum of easy to use to more complicated, less expensive to more expensive. And depending on how you raise funds, there may be a final overlay that is the value of the software to the organization, with low value add on one end, meaning the database functionality doesn't significantly increase fundraising bottom line, and high value add-on on the robust end, meaning the robust functionality helps staff raise more money.
So this simple mental model will help us frame the value proposition. But now we have to understand this term robust. And in order to do that, we have to look at donor database structure. I'm sorry, stay with me. It'll only hurt for a minute.
Think about a donor record, just the top level record with the account name and how he or she likes to be addressed. This donor information is very stable, meaning it's rarely added to or changed. This donor record is an entry in the donor or constituent table, which is the master object or master table, and it's structured rather like an Excel spreadsheet with rows and columns. In addition to the master table, you have at least one transactional table which contains various entries, typically date specific. The most common transactional data is a gift, but other common transactions include tasks, notes, points of contact such as a solicitation, or even event attendance. So that's what a simple database looks like. A master table and a transactional table with various types of transactions, maybe a gift, maybe an email appeal, or an event registration. eTapestry and Bloomerang are examples of simple databases. In eTapestry, the journal is the transactional table. In Bloomerang, transactions are displayed as a very friendly looking timeline. Simple. Robust databases have, in addition to the simple set of relationships, other master tables that form different sets of one-to-many relationships. So for example, in an event module, there's a master table for each event, where similar to how your donor record is structured, your event-specific information is stored. Information such as event ID, event name, the dates, the location. But then there are other transactional tables associated with the event. Transactions like invitations with status information, registrations with attendee information, tickets with pricing options, etc. This robust structure allows an organization to manage events independently of constituent records. So in the robust structure, the event can be the one in a one-to-many relationship. So now you can run reports with the event in the center rather than just the constituent in the center. So this makes day of reporting much cleaner, as well as analytics. For example, with an event module, all your event-related activities are being managed in one interface. So you're pulling mailing lists for invitations, updating and viewing RSVPs, assigning seating, all in one place. And this matters for large complex events or if you're managing several events at once. I'm using events as an example here, but this concept applies to other types of modules or robust functionality. Volunteer jobs, for example, can be recorded in a master table with many transactions. Now, the robust functionality for major gifts is structured a little bit differently across software projects. And since this is my area of interest, I'm going to spend a little time looking very specifically at major gifts' robust functionality. There are two ways to package robust major gifts functionality. One is the module approach that we're now familiar with, which we see with Raiser's Edge 7 and NXT, as well as Neon CRM, and can be built into a Salesforce implementation. The module approach functions much like the event and volunteer jobs that we've just discussed. There's a dedicated interface for managing major gifts with major gift-specific reporting options for segmentation and analysis, as well as the ability to directly link a proposal with transactional records like gifts, tasks, notes, and other secondary tables like appeals and funds. The second way major gifts' robust functionality is packaged is what I call inline. What that means is that rather than having a separate module, Proposals are tracked in a separate transactional table. So in the same way you can have many gifts linked to one donor, you can have many proposals linked to one donor. So now let's take a quick look back at the simple database structure from a major gifts perspective. In a simple database, a proposal can be created as a special type of transaction. This is typically a special note type. And you can capture relevant info such as the ask amount, due date, assignment in this note. So voila, you now actually have a major gifts proposal structure that allows you to create multiple proposals separate from gifts for your donor. So this is the minimum requirement for major gifts functionality, and you do have that available on the simple database structure. The difference between robust and simple is that in the simple model, you are not able to associate a proposal with any other type of transaction because you can't associate an entry in the table with another entry in the same table. This means you cannot associate a task or another note or a gift with a proposal in this transaction table. And again, software products that manage major gifts in this format include eTapestry and Bloomerang.
Okay, that might have been more information on database structure than you needed, but it's really hard to understand functionality without understanding how a database functions. So now let's apply our new understanding to the question at hand. Does your organization need robust functionality?
You may need robust functionality if you ask for a report that includes more than donor information, such as, I need an event report for all events in the last 2 years. You find yourself referencing multiple reports to get the answers that you need. If you have dedicated staff for a fundraising position related to the functionality you need, it's an indication that it's so important to your organization's fundraising strategy that you need the strongest tool available. And finally, if you spend more time generating reports than reviewing them, you're not getting the information you need out of your current database structure.
So I hope this tutorial explains the definition of robust and, in practical terms, shows what that means to your organization. I hope you also have a tool now for assessing the value to your organization. I've created a short list of some popular software products and made a note about where they fall on the continuum of simple to robust functionality.